everyone deployed. It's a powerful reminder of our brave men and women who are overseas serving our country. This simple act of wearing red is more than just a fashion statement to me. It's a symbol of solidarity and support. It's a silent yet impactful way to show our troops that they are in our thoughts and our hearts, no matter the distance. So join me in this meaningful tradition, and let's keep our heroes in our minds and close to our hearts.
The fact that our patriotism in America is dwindling, I really wanted to start the American AF movement. Freedom is fragile, very fragile. It takes a certain level of intestinal fortitude to stand up and say and do the right thing to preserve the freedoms that so many have paid a large price for.
American tactical. American as f***.
Why do you do it, man? Why? You some kind of war junkie? I won't say a goddamn word. Why? They won't understand. They won't understand why we do it. They won't understand. It's about the men next to you.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
I want to make it clear that the views expressed by our hosts are not considered the official stance of MBR Views. Remember, this is all about having fun and enjoying the ride.
Drop your cocks and grab your socks. Get your bunks made, get your uniforms on. Police call will commence in 2 minutes.
God damn, Jimmy. This some serious gourmet shit.
We're all things veterans. We advocate, educate, liberate, communicate, congregate, fascinate, so we can proliferate.
You haven't seen nothing yet! Woo!
Sorry, we're going streaking through the quad and into the gymnasium. Come on, everybody!
We're trying to make dreams come true.
Well, they supported us now. It's our turn to support them.
The Revel experience. Get experience!
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Revel Experience. It's V Squared in the house. We got CG, we got Caveman, Mercury, and somewhere back there is the H Train. He's kind of incognito today.
Yeah, I'm behind the controls today.
Yeah,
so.
he's like the Wizard of Oz.
That's right. He joined us over here.
Yeah, so it's kind of a refreshing role for him today. He's kind of taking a
load off.
Yeah, taking a load off and relaxing, looking at his Twitter account.
Oh, I'm just making sure that we're
all
good
square.
and we sound good and all that stuff, you know.
Man in the TikTok, so
yeah.
If you got any zingers, send them in the TikTok chat.
Yep. Today is the day.
We'll see
ladies and gentlemen.
So
Which I
this,
don't know how good
this
you
is
can hear
National Women's History Month. Yes.
Yes, I think it's
Isn't that exciting? That's
Happy
pretty cool.
March, everybody.
You know, I'm a firm believer that the old adage of behind every great man is a great woman, and I completely concur and affirm that statement. I can personally attest to I've had many great men in my life, but I personally feel the how I was formed, how my personality, how I was by strong women in my life. My mom, my wife, my grandmother. They're the ones that I think of when I think of who taught me how to be a real man. So I know that might be counterintuitive to some guys that are like, too macho, but I'm there's a reason why women procreate. There's a reason why women are usually the glue that holds the family together. They're the reason why, women are so resilient and powerful. God made them that way. Yes, they were formed from man, but they are a critical component to every man's life. So my hat's off to you, ladies. I think that obviously we wouldn't be in existence without you, but you make this a better world.
Well, thank you. For all the women out there, I'll say thank you.
Well said, V. Well said.
Very well said.
And I was just going to tell you guys, so we're giving away it. I think we're going to post a post to either today or tomorrow. Can you guys hear me okay? Or does it sound like I'm echoing? Okay.
Now it sounds a little better.
So we have like a women's backpack.
Cool.
And we're going to put like pens.
I almost stole that until you said it was a cute.
Yeah.
You guys want to show it on the camera?
Hide everything from V because he'll take it.
Yeah,
it's
pretty really cool. Nice. It's like a crossbody.
Yeah. And our good friends at Operation Good Boy, they sent that to us, and we'll be putting pens and pencils and calendar and planners,
some paper products.
Military, if you had one of those.
Oh yeah. That's nice. Got a little Velcro there for the patch.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
So we'll be giving that away. Also, other news as well. MBR Jack Ryan, he's been really doing a really good job at revamping the website. So now if a veteran goes on the website, they ask a bunch of like different questions and it will slot you to the right path where you're wanting. And, I sent you a couple of emails, the podcasts that were like right there on the fence, being good enough to be aired. And then I sent CG some woman veteran podcasts because, I think a woman's perspective and a woman, doing the podcast, I think she has a lot of things that she can share and spotlight for the women that's coming on board. So that's
CG's a mover and shaker, man.
I'm telling you, she is. She is. In fact, talking about moving and shaking, CG, you went somewhere this Wednesday for Warrior Voices.
Warrior Voices, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, you actually posted. I've been looking into getting into voiceovers for a while because of the Colorado Media School.
And her sexy voice.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm going to sell whiskey and cigarettes. So I got you.
Yeah. Here.
I won't give the 900 number away.
Yeah.
So I actually looked into another school, and it was going to be quite a bit of money. I was going to look into vocational help for to see if we could do it. And also my significant other, he wants to do it as well. So that was like a big money thing. And then Joel posted the Warrior Voices in Colorado Springs, and they're looking for talent. They want to train for free as a veteran. And it was a Zoom meeting that it was about an hour and a half, but it was very motivating, very exciting. I just can't wait to get started with them. Obviously you can contact the radio station if you want more information, or Warrior Voices themselves. But I think the prerequisite to get on is just sending them over your DD-214. And they only have one woman voice actor right now. So I'm hoping to I'm knocking on their door. Right. Like, come on, let me in.
It's really weird in this industry. If you're a woman veteran, it's much easier for you to, get in a slot rather than a guy getting in a slot, just because there's not very many women that do podcasts or that broadcasts. This isn't sports. This is just regular thing, and it's just limited. And already here in Colorado, I think there's a limited amount of women veterans that actually are active and that are actually doing stuff. Just because,
Yeah, I was going to say it definitely runs the gambit because, like I do a lot of veterans camps, and there's by and large the large proportion of them is men.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, I know that some of the nonprofits that I've dealt with have actually started just female only camps,
right?
Because of that. They realize that some women just don't feel comfortable around a bunch of men, and I can't hardly blame them. Who wants to be around a bunch of
I was a
stinky
Marine. I got over that real quick. Being a
Okay.
Marine, there was 5 women and 350 people in our squadron. So
Wow. Yeah. So I agree with you. I think we definitely need to reach out to our female veterans and get them more involved and get them tuned.
Yeah, I like that Joel
plugged in.
sent me an email about somebody that she has a really good idea for a podcast with the military love stories.
Yeah, I saw that.
I really like that idea.
I saw that. That's
that's
the reason why I said that, because I'm like,
so we'll have to get a hold of her.
And the thing about it is, like, I'm doing all the the teaching and like the boarding and stuff, and I was talking to Jack Tuesday, and he's like, why don't you delegate, or not delegate, that's not a real good word, but why don't you introduce these DJs upcoming to DJs to shows that are already active, so that they can kind of mentor them and give them some different tips and suggestions on what to do. And I'm like, okay, all right. So then I started to send them stuff, and it's funny because I talked to a veteran yesterday, and evidently it's vintage baseball. Evidently they had a league here in Colorado, and they do a bunch of like traveling. He doesn't do it anymore, but he was telling me about that. And I'm like, you know what? My sports team, I bet, would really love to interview you just to see how times have changed, especially, I mean, everybody's seen that movie, A League of Their Own.
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
Exactly, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. And, out of all the emails that we've got, I'm very excited. We're still getting 15 to 20 emails an hour every single day. Just so you know.
So Joel doesn't really sleep.
No, I
don't. He knows that.
Yeah.
He's got a cot in his
he does actually.
In his Tahoe that he uses all the time.
You know me very well. Yeah. But other than that, that's the new stuff that's going on. If you're just now tuning in, you're listening to the Revel Experience. We'll be having the golf for the disabled on today.
Yes, great program. If you're a golf junkie like me, or you're just someone that's interested in learning how to play golf, they have instructional camps in the spring and the fall, and they will give you free instruction on how to play golf, and you can at the practice range, on the putting practice green. They have a par 3 course. They do the lessons at the Broken Tee golf course in Englewood, and they have a par 3 as well as an 18-hole course there. They can get you on the par 3 course for free if you're so inclined, and then I think they'll get you a discount on the 18 holes if you want.
Me and you really need to take a trip over to Common Ground Golf Course.
We do.
Yeah, and
that is technically my neighborhood course.
Yeah,
I'm like 5 minutes from there.
Because they used to sponsor MBR, and their manager left, and now that things have kind of settled, we're kind of established. We have a foundation. I'm thinking that they might,
renew that endorsement.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Even if it's to the fact that, hey, you know what, we'll every Saturday we'll give you guys the opportunity to par 3 course or something. Even something as little as that would be beneficial, because I'm a big firm believer of getting veterans out and doing events and stuff, because it gets you talking. You you form like a family, kind of like we have done here, and you just have a
as dysfunctional as it may be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because you get confidence when you're around people that push you up instead of pushing you down. And I just think that when it comes to veterans, as long as we can get a mic in their hand and get them talking, I think we're going to. I think we're going to put a big dent in the suicide rate, especially here in Colorado.
We already are, man. We already are doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that you hit the nail on the head because I know for a fact, and I can't speak for all veterans, but I'm sure you guys can attest to this, that, we miss the camaraderie of when we serve. We miss that cohesiveness that we had when we served. And especially if you're retired and you're not in the workforce anymore, it's vital that you have that because, a lot of these veterans are sitting at home. They're just,
it's hard enough getting out of the military and being a civilian again.
Yeah,
let alone,
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, hey guys, it's time for our first break. Let me tell you that before we go to break, we want to give a shout out to Internet Radio Network, Sky Blue Radio, Star Radio, Basics Radio, and of course, we were partnered with DV Radio this morning. So whatever you do, stay with us. Don't go away. When we come back, we're going to be talking about you're not going to believe what Tom Brady's going through. So whatever you do, stay with us. Don't go away. You're listening to the station that's giving veterans a voice. You're listening to MBR right here on the Revel Experience.
Take your silver spoon to your grave.
You know, a lot of people don't understand what the veterans go through and how they feel. All they hear about is the PTSD, the flashbacks, and so forth.
Yeah.
My goal for this book is to help people understand that, yes, when our military comes home, they bring scars with them that remain. And in some of these letters, you can see the scars he brought home. When I say scars, I mean the memories, the bad memories.
That's exactly what you mean when you say scars.
So I want people to see that when these guys come home, be a little more tolerant of the military men and women that have served and come home, and they withdraw from people because of depression, because they're feared of being ostracized.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
Our military community.
And to reach out.
The fact that our patriotism in America is dwindling, I really wanted to start the American AF movement. Freedom is fragile, very fragile. It takes a certain level of intestinal fortitude to stand up and say and do the right thing to preserve the freedoms that so many have paid a large price for.
American tactical. American as f***.
It's a 5 a.m. hike up the mountain to watch the sunrise. It's saluting the flag in honor of the brave men who died. It's a small piece of land that reaps what you sow, your child's first breath and then watching them grow. Respecting one another, though you may disagree. You don't hold it against them, that's freedom to me. Some pray to God, some go their own way. But we're all raised different, but we're all the same. And it doesn't matter if you disagree. What's freedom to you? That's freedom to me. It's riding a trusty old horse down a dusty dirt road, casting your fly line in a stream that nobody knows. It's spending your life with the girl of your dreams, and being a grandpa like mine was to me, and building a business without a degree. 'Cause you worked your ass off, that's freedom to me. Some were raised hunting, some think that's a shame. We're all taught different, but we're all the same. And it doesn't matter if you disagree. What's freedom to you? That's freedom to me. There's 50 to choose from, pick one and be free. I don't tell you how to live, so don't do that to me. Some think that's a shame. And we're all taught different, but we're all the same. And it doesn't matter if you disagree. What's freedom to you? That's freedom to me. Some pray to God, some go their own way. But we're all raised different, but we're all the same. And it doesn't matter if you disagree. What's freedom to you? That's freedom to me. What's freedom to you? That's freedom to me.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Revel Experience.
Welcome.
Live in the studio with CG and the gang.
I love how you was looking at me V Square like, okay, tell me when.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's not doing it today.
Yeah, he's not doing the.
That's why he has his new name. Remember?
That's right. That's why he has the
new nickname.
Well, hey, talking about nicknames, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time. It is the What the segment.
Those are cool tats, man.
Oh, for real. Thank you, bro. You see the Cobra?
And what is this one?
Oh, this? That's my credo. No regrets.
You have no regrets?
Dad?
No. Like not even a single letter?
No way. Not me.
Well, I love him. I think he's great.
Okay.
I think he's a real winner, Casey. If I were you, I wouldn't use protection.
What the? All right. So, what do we have for the What the segment, V?
Well, apparently Antonio Brown, who used to live with Tom Brady, is spilling the beans on his ex-wife.
Taking some cheap shots.
Right? You know, that's the worst thing about getting a divorce is no matter what, you have friends that are kind of like on the fence, both your friends and both her friends, and it's almost like you know you don't want to accept them as a friend because you think they're like top secret spies or something. And I don't know. What do you guys think of the whole? Now we already know Antonio Brown's been in the news for some other stuff.
He's honestly like nobody's friend. He just goes after everyone. It doesn't make any sense.
He just makes enemies. That's what AB does.
Seriously. What was it? What were you
Do you think
asking
this
about?
is really true? Like he really knows this stuff? This is
Well, apparently the rumor of her and the jiu-jitsu trainer had been out for a while. And when it finally got like, big, his response was, did Antonio Brown already know? And then with this famous hashtag CTESPN, because he's just completely embraced his CTE claims from everybody. He's not even trying to dodge it. This is also a 35-year-old man that's posting this on Twitter about somebody else's wife. It's
Right.
just weird.
It is weird.
It's
especially
extremely childish.
In light of the fact that Tom Brady opened his home to him. And
Yeah.
let him live
that's
with him.
messed up.
I mean, come on, guy. Really? That's how you betray my
Well,
friendship and my generosity by putting this dirt out there.
I mean, Brady kind of saved his NFL career too because he got kicked off the Raiders for causing all those problems in the offseason. And he was a free agent for a while, and Brady
stuck his
neck
out.
Vouched for him.
Yeah, I mean, because he got kicked off the Raiders. The Patriots gave him a try for a little bit, and they got kicked off of there too. So he was a free agent for a while. And Brady was brought him into Tampa. And I mean, he revitalized his career. He had a great year. The year they won the Super Bowl, and then they were having another successful season, and he just up and left in the middle of the game.
Yeah, that's when he took his pads
Middle of
off.
the game, really?
He took his pads off, threw everything on the field.
He
and
took
just
his
walked
pads off and he took off his glove. Can't forget the glove.
He was running off the
took
field
everything off
shirtless.
pretty much.
It was just down to his pants, and he.
It sounds like he might be a little.
Yeah, there might be some mental
It's
issues.
that CTE that he
Yeah.
hashtags
he
in
needs
his own
Britney's
posts.
people to come in, take him
that's
over.
It's just unfortunate about CTE. You don't find out that people have that brain injury or like a brain injury like that until after they've passed away,
or they've done murdered their family or something.
Yeah,
I
like
bet
you
it
can't test it out until like after they've already passed.
Yeah, because remember, was the guy? What was the tight end from
Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah, that's the
when
one
they
that
did
killed.
in that post mortem exam on him, and they said that he had severe CTE.
Yeah, he was really bad.
Another-
That documentary, I watched that documentary.
Another
It was
former Patriots player too.
Yeah. Isn't that ironic?
Man, he just was never the same person after he took that one hit.
Maybe it's
from
something they
Vontaze
put in the
Burfict.
water.
That was
the Gatorade. Maybe
maybe it's we know that they deflate footballs and stuff. Maybe they put a certain, I don't know, power pellets in the Gatorade in the water. Maybe they took Marshall Lynch's idea of Skittles. You've heard the story about that, right?
I don't think so. No.
Really? Okay, so it was only brought.
Marshawn Lynch.
Well, Marshall Lynch. It was only brought to my attention because I was with a skiing buddy, and he was weird, but that's beside the point. But he had like a bag of Skittles, and he kept putting them down his pants, and I'm like, why do you keep putting a bag of Skittles down his pants? He's like, oh, haven't you heard that interview with Marshall Lynch? His mother gave him a thing of Skittles and said that was his like power pellets, and he put it right in his underwear, and it gave him power to drive, and he's been doing that ever since like high school.
Good luck charm.
And I'm like, wow, okay, can't make this stuff up, kind of thing.
Mine
But
mine would end up in the dryer, stuck to all my clothes.
or mine would end up in my stomach because I eat them because they're my power pellets, but not in my crotch.
And and you're so right about that dryer thing. When
It'd be melted, my pockets will be melted together.
Well, when I smoked, my wife was like, you've been out of the military for 20-some years and you're still putting your cigarette butts in your pocket. It's getting all over the dryer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you still flick off the?
Yep. It's something that's kind of ingrained in you to where, as long as you smoke, you're always doing that. True. Now, I was able to do the one flick finger thing, but I still cannot. I can't do the dipping. You know how they pack it?
Yeah.
I still get
with the finger. I don't know.
Right, the kung fu finger.
Yeah. It's like you got to completely let it go. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how they do that.
But
that's the one thing that yeah.
Oh, you got it. You can do it.
Oh,
that's sad because he has one less finger than all of us, and he can do it.
That's a good
right hand.
It's got to be loose.
That's right. You're a lefty, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we're going into that time zone where this is the we're gonna go into it. Drop the mic. This is an interesting one, guys.
Well, don't worry. Don't worry. I'm not gonna do what you all think I'm gonna do, which is just flip out.
Okay, the reason why I taught the reason why I picked this, okay, is I hope I don't get a lot of hate for it because she's such a little girl, sweet little girl, and I think she was just caught and maybe she was having an off night. I don't know.
Well, she's nervous, obviously. That'd be nerve-wracking.
But let's quit lying to our kids, and instead of telling them that they can be anything that they want to, can we kind of like normalize it? Give them goals that they can actually
within reason.
Yeah. Because this was really bad. I mean, you've heard of Roseanne Barr when she did the national anthem. Check this out, everybody.
Stripes and bright stars, the round perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watch, were so gallantly streaming.
Kind of hard to understand.
Yeah,
but
the words
she was just
don't
trying to
even sound-
enunciate the words. It didn't sound that bad.
So
I mean,
with this,
she
how
I like her
she
dress.
went over the beautiful
Yeah,
dress.
great
She went
dress.
It's only an
over the
8-year-old.
top a little bit.
You can't
but-
get on her
nice,
too hard.
nice little outlet. Well, what I was gonna say is for the next 30 seconds, I was gonna say we all need to come up with a pun, like tell me that you didn't lie on your resume without telling me that you didn't lie on your resume.
She should have dropped the mic.
Uh,
There you go.
She should have done. She should have just dropped the mic.
Came out there, dropped the mic, went home.
I still think the defense in the All-Star game on that court was the bigger abomination. Than that, all right.
CG, what do you got?
She wasn't as bad as giving
man,
up
I don't
200
know.
points.
No, I'm pass. I'll think of something. I'm way better not on the spot.
Either that or pass, or she knows something.
Yeah.
These guys are gonna
I
get
don't
in
want
trouble.
Yeah, I don't want to be in. I don't want my car keyed or whatever.
Yeah, this is National Women's History Month, man. It can't be
Well,
bad mouthing
she's
girls.
making history, definitely. You know.
She's definitely gotten worse online.
I mean, you know, and
It
look,
reminds me of my granddaughter because my granddaughter loves to come down to my cave, and she'll put on my headphones and turn the keyboard on, and she's just singing away, and she doesn't know the words, and you know she's making up her own stuff, and
That's
so,
cute.
yeah, it's adorable.
Well, you would think they would have maybe practiced once before.
you would have thought they auditioned,
yeah, or
you
something.
know?
Yeah,
Or-
maybe
It
maybe
seems
the
like it
real
was her
talent
first time.
called in sick.
Well, this definitely reminds me of that one moment where parents put their child in a spot where they wish that they had made when they was a child.
So living vicariously through your child.
Yes, that's what I'm looking at here. Because first of all, just to say it, she has balls to be able to go in front of 30,000 people and sing the national anthem in the first place. I really think that she kind of got set up on failure with this, the organization and her mom, unless, I don't know. Maybe they were doing a movie shot, when Will Ferrell came out there and started beating on the mascot. Everybody found out it was a scene from a movie, that it was staged, it wasn't real. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I
It was
have
sort of
no
like
idea.
That Mark Wahlberg movie where they're like both the step parents.
Oh
or
yeah,
whatever.
two dads or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Oh yeah.
But I
Daddy's
definitely,
home. That was the name of the
Daddy's
movie.
home.
Yeah,
I
Daddy's
will.
home. There you go.
I will say, I heard that after seeing this, Joel Embiid wants to challenge her to a singing competition.
She's gonna win.
Yeah.
He won't show up.
Hopefully, they
He's gonna-
protect her from all of us.
Well, the problem,
on
the problem
internet.
is they wanted to have it here in Denver, so he's out.
Now
again.
he's not showing up.
Yeah, he has laryngitis. What the report is.
Joel
Yeah, I
Embiid.
think hopefully the parents protect her from like the ridicule because bullies are bad and she's gonna get bullied for
There's
this.
even, like-
Oh man, it's
She's
too
gonna be
late.
like
It's too
40
late. It's
with the
already out.
dress, still holding the dress and crying about it.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Like therapy.
ruthless
Yeah,
at her school.
Yeah,
for
they're gonna
sure.
be ruthless.
If that got
It's not
posted
fair.
to Instagram too, like the comments are probably the
Oh,
same.
it's
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Even like the news page that I saw
Oh,
posted
man.
it said Fergie 2.0.
Oh,
the caption was like 8-year-old girl.
I think that's still better than Fergie because, like, what Fergie? You're like an actual musician.
Yeah,
Like, what
Fergie's
the
a
hell?
professional. That's
Like,
an
you-
8-year-old.
You can cut her slack. This is an 8-year-old girl, singing in front of like nearly 20,000 people.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest, most stressful event of her life.
Yeah.
And I mean, my hat's off to her that she
Yeah.
did it.
Yeah.
I mean, I can never say that I sang the national anthem at a sports team game. I mean, in some people's life, that's considered a bucket list item.
Yeah, let alone a school
It's an NBA
assembly.
game.
And and me and CJ was talking last week because we started going through the assignment and stuff, and it's totally different from when you just get on the mic compared to when you're doing this routinely. We don't know how long she's been singing. This could have been. Everybody has their one event. I mean, I don't want to sit here and talk bad about her. I found it funny. I found it real funny that she was singing, and I wasn't gonna say anything. And man, I love it. I love it when you're on the radio and they don't text you the phone line; they text you as a person to talk stuff on the text. Yeah, because he was talking about he hated it. His stepdad hated it when Roseanne Barr did the national anthem, and there was a lot of pushback with Roseanne when she did that. Remember, but I don't think there's so much pushback on this because she's
That's
so
just a little
young.
kid.
Yeah.
I mean, Roseanne's an adult. She knew
Right.
better. This
Yeah,
little
she
girl's
was
just trying her heart out.
Yeah, and Roseanne was purposely disrespectful.
Yes,
She
purposely.
just thought that she was putting a little twang on it, I think.
Yeah. And was that before or after she got kicked off her show?
Oh, way before.
way before.
Way before, yeah.
Way before.
And,
Like
and
20
what are the
years before.
And what are the particulars behind that? Why did she get kicked off? Because
She made some comments.
She's very political.
Yeah, it was actually not even as bad as like comedians.
No, but
yeah,
see, when
she was in that spotlight.
Yeah, when you talk politics with people, I mean, you are in you're in warning of like just totally shutting that person down. Okay, for example, if you came in here with a New England Patriot jersey, no matter what, I would look at you a lot different compared if you was a Denver Bronco fan, because my brain thinks the NFL. There's people that think politics, so as soon as you say that you're a Democrat or you're a
they see you
Republican,
different, yeah.
oh, that's it. I
Yeah.
tell you, key thing, if you want to get out of jury duty, not only do you not dress up, but tell them that you're a Trump supporter or tell them that you're a Biden supporter, you'll get thrown off that jury faster than anything.
Really?
Because you've already
You brought politics into it.
Yeah, you already set, they want somebody that's gonna take the job serious.
Yeah, be unbiased.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you sit there being all opinionated, then they don't want the high school group, they don't want the high school
cliquey.
plastic to be commenting on somebody's life or whatever they're in there for. So
Political mean girls.
Right.
yeah. But yeah, so that's we derailed really big time, Caveman. You should have said something.
Oh,
We still got
blame
time
him. There you
before
go.
15.
Blame him.
So
Come on,
we are
Caveman.
we're like 45 minutes past the hour. Before we go on break, kind of set us up for this team,
Okay, so
man.
our guest speaker today is Dave Harris. He's an Army veteran. He's been with, I'm not sure exactly how long he's been with Golf for the Disabled. We met a couple years ago. Great guy. Got the gift of gab. He loves to tell his story and talk about golf and helping veterans learn how to play the game of golf. So looking forward to this interview. Should be interesting, and he's going to actually be in studio.
Sweet.
So we don't get that privilege very often.
No, we don't, because
Nice.
people are they're some people are just too lazy to come in. They want to do it virtually, and we're like, okay,
Yeah.
all right. It's so much fun here in the
Yeah,
morning.
I
Don't
know.
you agree?
Oh,
I
my
think
We've
goodness.
got donuts,
better.
No other place I'd rather be.
I mean,
hey, it was nice when I showed up. Everybody's here. I was like, oh my God, party.
yeah. Well,
6 a.m. party.
Right.
if they had like they have strip clubs, we'd have a strip thing here.
We need a
in the
we need a
morning.
poll.
Stripper pole?
Yeah. Invite a couple pythons. I'm sure her husband would love that. What are you thinking, H? Hey, so we're gonna go on our music break. So we got that interview at the top of the hour, and we want to give a huge shout out to Timothy Herrick for tuning in, for listening. You are listening to the station that's giving veterans a voice. You're listening to MBR, the Revel Experience. More to come. Stay
was longer and face was older, my heart knew it was you, alright. I saw a side of you that I never saw before. And when the morning came, I closed my eyes, hoping I could talk with you some more. So thank you for stopping by. You must have known I wore my memories out. I've played them back so many times, and I was longing for a moment with you. No, it may not be reality, but sometimes dreams come through. There's so many things I could have said, like how much I miss you, I won't forget you, but I got lost in time instead, because it felt just like you had never left this place. And it reminded me that you and I share a bond that death cannot erase. So thank you for stopping by. You must have known I wore my memories out. I've played them back so many times, and I was longing for a moment with you. No, it may not be reality, but sometimes dreams come through. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for stopping by.
The fact that our patriotism in America is dwindling, I really wanted to start the American AF movement. Freedom is fragile, very fragile. It takes a certain level of intestinal fortitude to stand up and say and do the right thing to preserve the freedoms that so many have paid a large price for.
American tactical. American as
Department of Veterans Affairs. For PSAs on the best services available to veterans, go to VA's new radio outreach page, news.va.gov/outreach/radio.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Revel Experience. We're back in studio live here, Denver, Colorado, on a beautiful day. We're going to have great weather for the next couple of days, and it's supposed to get cold again. But anywho, our guest is here today, Dave Harris from Golf for the Disabled. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You know, Dave, I'm not sure. Tell us, how long have you been with Golf for the Disabled, and can you give us a little background, like who started it and how long has it been in existence, things like that?
Yeah, this organization started over 30 years ago by a fellow named Dick Hartman, and I had the pleasure of meeting him. He passed away a couple years ago, unfortunately.
I remember Dick.
Yeah, really great guy.
Excellent.
Probably no better teacher.
Yeah.
But I was at the driving range at Broken T where we have our clinics, and I was hitting some golf balls. This is before my back injury, but hitting some golf balls, and right next to me was a guy named Ken Polanski. I think I got that right. And we just started talking, and one thing led to another, and here I am. He's the president of Golf for Disabled right now.
Okay, yes, I know Ken well.
Yes.
Yeah, what is his name? Pulaski?
Pulaski, something like that.
Yeah.
Sorry if we got it wrong.
He's
Ken.
he's a German Mexican, so you'll forgive us if we can't pronounce his name right.
If we got it wrong, blame him.
Yeah.
So one of the questions, like the number one question that is asked by me all the time when I go to like golf events is, what equipment, because there's special equipment that you have for people that paraplegic that helps them golf. Can you tell us a little bit about that equipment?
Awesome question. Actually, we just purchased another. They're called Paragolfers. Now, the newest cart is made in the USA. The other two that we purchased were made in Germany. And they're called Paragolfers, and they're set up for anybody in a wheelchair or who has major disabilities as far as, trying to get around and not very mobile. And they sit in this chair, and we strap them in, and then the chairs lift straight up to almost a standing position. And then they can actually have almost a real golf swing.
Yeah. Let's get you a little bit closer to the mic.
Oh, okay.
Let's get you a little bit closer.
Everybody said I had a big mouth, so I had to be careful.
And it's Ken Pieski.
Pieski, okay.
There you go.
Thanks for checking.
Yeah. We don't want to muddy the waters. Ken's a great guy.
Now, is this the golf instrument, the golf adaptive tool that I'm talking about? Is this something that your organization has, or do they have certain like location golf courses that that have that machine, and you have to kind of go where the machine is?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, some courses offer some type of a cart for the handicap, but it's few and far between, which is unbelievable to me.
And it's good that you brought that up, H, because most, if not all, golf courses love to toot their own horn and say, "Oh, we're ADA compliant. We embrace the adaptive golf." No, they don't. They don't. We run into this problem almost every time we go to play golf. Keith, he's above the knee amputee. Recently, we went to Buffalo Run. Hate to call him out, but we went to Buffalo Run. We made the reservation. We told them that he was above the knee. They said, no problem. We got there, and they said, nope, cart path only. And they wouldn't even give him 90-degree rule, which means you park 90 degrees to your ball, and that way you minimize the amount of – they wouldn't bend at all. So we had to end up going to a different golf course. And that is completely against ADA law. I mean, you have to make reasonable accommodations.
And to be honest with you, that's kind of completely unprofessional as well, I mean,
do the enablest.
Oh, yeah, and they were saying the reason why it kills the grass. Like, well, dude, the grass is dormant right now. I mean, it's already dead.
Well, the fact of the matter, like these carts I was just explaining to you about, you can take those anywhere on the course, and legally through the Disabilities Act, you're allowed to drive those anywhere on the course. So somebody with disabilities can have just as much fun as people that can get around.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's pitiful. It really is pitiful.
And it is a game changer. So it's a pity that not a lot of the courses, or very few of the courses, have them. And I know they're not cheap. I know they're very expensive, but it's definitely not something that's ubiquitous with golf.
They're very expensive.
They're very expensive. And, I think that I speak for all of us. We have that one friend that they should have had a license to be able to drive a golf cart, because they either like try to run you over or,
the reason why that you're not being in the cart yet, fully in the cart.
We laughed, but we had a friend that was using this, the adaptive tool, the machine or whatever, and they thought, since it was big, it would go over everything. Well, they tipped it, and it went into the pit. He was okay. He was laughing his ass off, but we were like trying to get it so that
When you say pit, you mean the sand trap or what?
Yeah. It
Down
just
the bunker?
he went up this hill and it just landed wrong, so it like flipped. I don't think we told them about it. Maybe I shouldn't even talk about it. Yeah. Okay.
Well, while we're here, I'm going to apologize to a course where my brother-in-law drove through their fence, but I'm not going to name the course, and I still have PTSD from that.
We apologize.
There was no drinking involved.
Right here, a crazy golf cart story.
Feel better. You can sleep at night.
Oh yeah, I can sleep good now. It just brought up the memories.
It was like a confession.
And we played really bad that day.
And my dad let like 13-year-old me drive the golf cart around one time when he took me golfing with him on a business trip. And this was at like a course that they host a PGA event at in Louisiana. I'm like, I don't know what he was thinking letting 13-year-old me drive it, but I didn't do too bad. I did like accidentally back it into the cart behind this one time, but
well, everybody does that. That's that's the break-in ritual.
Yeah, it's a rite of passage there. So, Dave, what's your role with Golf for the Disabled? What's
I just sit there and look pretty. No, I actually I help. Actually, what had happened is like a year or two, because I've been with him 7 years now. So the first couple years, another guy was helping Ken do the setup. He was like his right-hand man. And one day he just got fed up. You know, he was an older gentleman, and he got fed up and decided he wasn't going to do it anymore. And poor Ken, you know, Ken's in his 70s now, and, you know, he needs help. But I mean, this isn't, you know, it isn't something one person can do, even a younger person. So I just happened to fall into that position, and I've been his right-hand man ever since.
That's awesome.
And so what I do is we've had groups of people where it was just Ken and I, and, you know, it's a lot of work, you know, getting the range balls, and I like to focus and give everybody equal time. And if we don't have enough volunteers, we can't do that. So right now I'm going to say, go to golferdisabled.org and sign up to be a volunteer. It's a wonderful experience. I get teary thinking about it. It's a wonderful experience, and you need to try it. If you have time on your hands and want to make the place a better world, come to golferdisabled.org.
What kind of things do the volunteers do?
We do everything. In the mornings when we get set up, we got to set up, you know, canopies, make sure we have water. We've had people coming to this. One of the kids, Michael, he's been coming for, I think like 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah, because you help people of all disabilities. I've seen kids out there that aren't veterans,
right,
that are in wheelchairs or that have, you know, muscular dystrophy or what have you. And yeah, you guys extend that out to all people with disabilities, which is awesome. And, you know, I always like to say those are tears of passion, because you're passionate about this, Dave, and that's why you get choked up. And I'm right there with you, and that's why, you know, I've been with Golf for the Disabled participant for about 5 or 6 years, and now I kind of try to meet the role of an instructional assistant or what have you, because trying to pass it on. Yeah, that's not what I'm seeing. Burn.
No, just kidding.
But yeah, just trying to help the next guy that's new to the game.
So do you need any experience at all in golf to do this, or you could
Zero.
Okay.
Actually, we like people that are brand new, because you collect a lot of bad habits along the way. I did myself. I'm sure Vincent did. We like them fresh.
Yes.
We like them coming in, not knowing a thing, and
unmolded.
Let me try to tell you a quick story. So a couple years ago, we were on the course, and a blind person wants to play golf. So Ken looks at me and says, "Okay, go ahead and teach him." I'm like, wait a blind. What do I do? So he gave me a few tips on what to do, and 2 or 3 sessions later, this guy was hitting the ball.
Wow.
It was incredible. I mean, just think about it. I mean, the ball's hard enough to hit when you got 20/20 vision.
Yeah.
And you get in there and you just go you do everything by feel. And there was another blind golfer we had. We play every year. We do a play date with all the disabled golfers, and we have a play date par 3 at Broken Tee Golf Course. And this blind guy, he got 3 pars.
Wow.
So you can imagine trying to putt. You got to rattle the hole for him and everything. This guy got 3 pars. It's it's incredible.
They say you take away one sense and all your other ones are heightened.
Heightened, yeah.
So
Definitely.
that's amazing.
And I guess the other thing I can say is it's not just about the golf. I mean, they love it. They love to be, they love the advice we try to give them. But the biggest thing is the camaraderie.
Yeah.
These guys, some of them don't even, they hit a few balls, but then they sit and talk.
Yeah.
A veteran's been through a lot.
Yeah, that's so true. And I think that's something we talked about earlier about, you miss that camaraderie. So it's nice to get back in touch. It's just nice to get out of your house,
Right.
and get out of your comfort zone. Because if it's something that you're new to, you're definitely going to get out of your comfort zone. But
And we use an analogy here that, like, when you're a part of a military group, when you're a part of a team, it's like going to the Super Bowl, and those people that team with the Super Bowl, they're like family for life because they've been to a championship team. They've been through their war.
Yeah.
And, once we've been through our war with our battle buddies and, they're no longer here, we feel lost, kind of like when we lose a mother or father, we feel lost. We don't have much guidance. So we try to attach to the first thing that we can. And that's why I love how this group has came together. And that's what you're showing on the course. And it's just amazing that not only there are nonprofits that do that, but it's just amazing that we're blessed to be a part of that.
Yeah, I've only golfed like a couple times.
Come on out.
The one thing that I loved about it is just being outside. It's beautiful.
It is.
It's really gorgeous. It's quiet. It was very serene. That's what I liked the most about it when I did play.
And we've had people, they bring their sons and daughters or their wife, and sometimes they want to play. And if we have the time and, we don't have very many people, we help them too. So it's not like, the veterans' spouses are just as important as the veterans because they go through a lot, in the whole scheme of things.
yeah, I always say a significant other served as well.
Exactly.
But
But they're always higher ranking.
Yes, they're always higher ranking.
Now,
Go Women's Month.
Yeah. The one of the questions that I wanted to ask, and you might have already covered it, and I missed it, but we know that you have to have some kind of a disability. What is the criteria on being involved?
Mentally, physically, anything.
Okay.
I mean, we just want everybody to get together.
So in other words, H-Train, you're in.
Got it.
You qualify.
I mean, look at me. I made it.
There we go.
No, but I really enjoyed, my friends always told me, Dave, you're a better teacher than you are a golfer. So after
Here, my friend.
after hurting my back and not being able to play, this is the next best thing. And I'm glad I joined this group. It's wonderful.
And is it for disabled vets and disabled civilians too? Like if you're
Yes.
Yeah.
But the volunteering is anybody.
Actually,
Anybody
anybody can volunteer. You don't need to play golf, or you don't need to know golf. You just need to know people and want to help people. And the biggest thing is this thing started out, I think, Ken, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it started out with children. A lot of disabled children who've been through a lot too. And then it just kind of grew into the vets, and we got the VA on board. And as soon as we got the VA on board, we've been getting a lot more people. So, but like I say, I'm gonna probably preach this till my eyes turn blue, and they are blue already. That we really do need volunteers. I mean, somebody because we need somebody that can help Ken and help me. You know, Ken's getting older, and I'll preach again. We just need volunteers that are reliable.
Is it primarily on the weekends or throughout the week, or what's?
No, it's going to be on Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Tuesdays and
Yes.
Wednesdays, and how long do you volunteer for? Like an hour?
Just figure a couple hours.
Okay.
And it's a Broken T golf course over off of Oxford and Santa Fe. People drive. We've had volunteers drive from up in the mountains before to help. So.
Yeah. CG, that's an awesome opportunity.
That's what I was already thinking
because
about it,
you know what it is on golf courses, people that have money.
Hey,
I'm already on my way.
Hey, she's hired. You're hired.
I'm hired.
The pay's great. Yeah, the pay's really good.
Comes in Benny's too.
The pay comes in tears of joy.
I like
that's
it.
the pay.
Yeah.
So
no, your passion for it made me already want to sign up.
So I had a good friend, Dave Troyer, and he was a manager over at Common Ground Golf Course. And he told me that, you know, deals and contracts have been made over the golf course. And I'm like, what? Okay, whatever, you know. And he's like, no, I'll tell you a story, true story. And I'm like, okay. He's like, John Elway was on the greens with Peyton Manning, and they made a bet or whatever. If he made this hole, he would stay here in Denver and he would play. But if he missed it, then he would give his ownership to Manning, so that because Manning wanted to do an NFL team. Well, luckily for Elway, he made that putt, and that's the reason why he's was a Denver Bronco and a quarterback.
Oh yeah, multi-million-dollar deal. Of course, dude. I mean,
Hey, I got some cruises. You guys can go.
Yeah. We got a lot of beautiful golf courses.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
How come nobody ever offered me a deal like that to putt?
Oh, just wait till after the show.
So if you don't mind, I'll go into the kind of the curriculum we have.
Yes, please do.
So normally, if we have enough volunteers, here we go again. That we have a station for putting, then we have another station for chipping and pitching, and then we have another station on the driving range. The problem is it was getting a little out of hand because people would get on the driving range. All they wanted to do is hit their driver. So we've tried to create some kind of a curriculum to, so, you know, they're hitting their irons one week, you know, they're hitting their mid irons the next week, and then the driver, because it was starting to just get, people would come down just to hit balls, and there wasn't any structure. Right. So we've kind of gotten that down, but we have those three stations if we have enough volunteers. And one thing other thing we started where Vincent said to come on the show is I wanted to do a winter golf league. And so I spoke with Ken, and we got a grant to help pay for things. Cause this is a charitable organization. It's not like we have money rolling in.
Right. If we don't have it in the bank, it's called the CEO's wallet.
Right. And, go to golffordisabled.org. If you're not interested in volunteering, at least please make some kind of a donation.
Yes.
I mean, veterans, we'd probably be speaking Chinese right now if it wasn't for veterans. That's just my opinion. So, so we started this winter golf league, and everybody loved it.
Yeah, it was great
at Top Golf.
Oh,
hey,
nice.
Everybody's going winter. We just saw a video on the Sports Crew on their show on Wednesday, HGTV, Sports in the Cave, and Caveman was showing us ice football. That stuff was hilarious.
Ouch.
German. They wear football helmets, hockey pads.
I was like, are they
bowling
Russian?
shoes on ice.
Yeah,
bowling shoes.
And it's like just regular football, but you're on a hockey rink.
Shortened field.
Bowling shoes, really?
Yeah,
it's
harder
so
to run.
they can't get traction, so they're
Right.
slipping around.
Oh, it's fun.
It's
just
funny
to
you
make
say
it
that
funnier.
because I bowl on Friday afternoons, and I just recently bought my own shoes because the shoes they have at the alley are just horrible. And man, they were so slick, man. I almost busted. I was like, man, these are slick. But so that must be pretty hilarious to see.
They're like on their tippy toes so they didn't slide. It was like they're walking, but they're like full sprinting down the ice.
Oh wow.
It's hilarious.
It's so funny watching them try to make a cut because they're all like trying to pull up and they're like slipping like this, and then like sometimes the defender can't stop, so the guy just the ball carrier just like has to like push him aside and keep going. It's really funny.
So it's more to be funny.
I don't think it's
goofy.
It's mostly comprised of like German like pop stars and like entertainment figures and that.
Yeah, I was gonna say Russians, but because it's so cold up there. But
Actually, I don't know if anybody here is familiar with the band the Bloodhound Gang, but
Oh, sure. I'm young enough.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, I got all their vinyl albums.
Evil Jared, he actually was on one of the teams.
So you've been doing this for many years. What is the most memorable moment that you've had with one of the disabled vets that just keeps making you want to do it over and over and over again?
Man. I've had several.
Right.
I can't just
paint a picture to us. Give us one.
Well, like the blind guy. I mean, it's amazing. And then when we go on the play date, and golf is, you could hit a million crappy shots, but you hit that one good one, you're back on the course.
Yeah.
And
So keeps
these
you coming
guys, they love that. I mean, just when you're teaching them how to swing and it's their very first time and they make that contact, that perfect contact with the ball, not much I can say about that. I mean, it's heartwarming. And the smiles.
Yeah.
The smiles when one person makes a really good shot, and other people see it, it makes everybody smile. It's just a good experience. Just a good experience.
Thank you for sharing that, by the way.
Yeah, thanks for asking.
What's the furthest drive you've ever seen somebody
Oh,
hit,
boy.
and
Oh,
the
yeah.
longest putt you've seen somebody hit while you're teaching?
A better question would be, what's your furthest slice? That would have been a better question.
Well, see, and here's the thing. That's a good question, but we don't really focus on that. Okay, we focus on the basics because we don't want, you could go to Golf Tech and get analyzed until you're green in the face, blue in the face, red in the face, whatever. We don't do that. We stick to the basics. And these disabled golfers, because some have prosthetics, some can hardly walk, and the mental side too. Golf is if you take away the physical, golf's mostly mental. It's at 8 inches between your ears.
Yeah.
That's where golf, and it gets these guys out of their bad place and puts them in a good place because all they're thinking about is golf, because you have to. And these guys, so we don't really focus on, we love to see people hit the ball far, but we're into accuracy and rhythm, and we just try to teach the basics. Just think about being out there and you have a prosthetic. Now we did have a lady, she had 2 legs, 2 arms, all prosthetics. I actually have a video on my phone. I should have came early and we could have posted it, but it was amazing watching her. Amazing. Just imagine that. 2 legs, 2 arms, hitting the golf ball pretty darn good.
That's cool.
That is powerful.
Yeah.
It is powerful. That golf gets people out of their realm, gets them out of the day-to-day grind, and even if you're not disabled, golf does that.
It kind of forces you to be away from like your electronics, your phone and stuff, unless you have one of those phones that's like an automatic GPS and it pinpoints. But
Right.
other than that, I when I am on the golf course, I really get lost in the course and stuff. And the reason why I like golf so much is it was kind of like that trigger squeeze. You hit the ball, you feel that power.
It's really satisfying.
Yeah,
You get, it's like you're saying with the perfect swing, like the sound take a little chunk of the grass with it. It's satisfying to watch that.
You know right away. You know right away if you've hit a good shot. I mean, again, you know right away when you hit a bad shot as you're chasing your club into the lake.
Right.
No, golf is it's hectic, and if you don't mind, I want to read a quote from Bob Hope.
Oh yeah,
you
go
got a
ahead.
second?
Go for it.
I haven't memorized
there's nothing
it
like
yet.
the sound of that ball going into the cup.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
Well, they're just nothing. That noise, that, and you look on your club and you hit
And
it
like
right in the
CG
face.
said earlier about, it's nice to be outside. When I walk up to a golf course and I see, I just get a smile on my face because it's just such a beautiful. They take such, some more than others, but they take such immaculate care of the course, and it's just
it's
green and
beautiful
lush.
place.
It's got landscape. It just brightens my day the minute I see a course.
Just being outdoors.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to read a quote from Bob Hope. I don't know if any of you know who Bob Hope is. The younger ones might not. But here's a quote from Bob Hope, and they named a tournament after him and everything in Palm Springs. That's where he lived in Palm Springs. And so golf is a hard game to figure. One day you will go out and slice it and shank it, hit it into all the traps and miss every green. The next day you will go out for no reason at all and you really stink. That's golf.
Yeah.
That's golf in a paragraph.
That's great.
And Bob used to do USO concerts all the time, appearances all over the world. I mean, he was huge about veterans and military active duty.
Big time.
So he's one of our another national hero that really promoted and was a proponent of our military and our veterans.
We need them.
We need them.
We need to keep the word out because, before Desert Storm and all those other wars thereafter, the veterans did get much kudos. After that, people started realizing, I think 9/11 really hit the nail on the head about, what we do.
Our support of our troops. Yeah.
But is it just me, or does it seem like people are starting to forget again? I mean, it's unfortunate that here pretty soon, we're going to be at war, and people are going to have to learn to, okay, I guess we do need to be appreciative now because, if you don't go to war, then my son has to go to war, kind of thing. So I think it's starting back up to where they are getting ready to appreciate us. But I do feel sometimes, and I don't know, that's why I'm asking you, do you feel sometimes that the appreciation has really died off the last 3 years?
Well, appreciation, depends on the person. Some people just do it because everyone else is doing it. Remember when they had those stickers and those magnets,
Right after
and then everybody and their brother had the magnets. Do something like this. It doesn't have to be golf for disabled. Do something like this. That'll change your mind about everything. Because everybody's, and the Vietnam vets, they really got hosed.
Yeah, they did.
I think about them every day. And when I go to the VA to get my medical care, I meet a lot of Vietnam vets, and those guys, they got zero appreciation. They were just doing their job.
Yeah.
Just doing their job.
I agree.
But where would we be without all of us, And people tend to forget that in their everyday lives.
They do. I was reminded the other day that it might not be much to me, but there's this old woman in a gas station that I go to every almost every day, and she reminded me the one day when I think I talked about this with CG, but she reminded me that me coming in and smiling and just saying hi and saying see you tomorrow, that gave her something to look forward to. And I didn't realize that until she said that to me. And that makes me feel good. do we want to be known in life for our legacy or for how much money we have, kind of thing. So it was nice to be reminded, and I think we all need to remind people that stuff, because I do. We forget it.
And we're not, like you said, we're not giving that any importance like we should. Because like you said, a smile, a salutation goes a long way for a lot of people, man. It goes a long way, just being acknowledged, because a lot of us feel invisible in society, forgotten in society. And it's nice to be, it's kind of like if you're married, have kids, and you have grandchildren, it's like when I see my grandkids, they just brighten my whole day. I'm just like, oh my God, they're here. I just love being around them. Love being a grandpa. Bumpo. They call me Bumpo.
Oh, that's cute.
So when I say golf for disabled, you'll see these guys that they look totally healthy, great shape. They got PTSD. Sometimes that's worse than a physical disability. Mm-hmm. So they love coming just to get stuff off their chest.
Yeah.
And talking to other vets with similar experiences. Mm-hmm. And that's priceless. It really is priceless. I'll just sit there and listen sometimes. It's hard for me to sit and listen because I like to talk, but just listen to some of these vets and experience, hear what they experienced. Some of them they're pretty amazing. Pretty amazing.
I got a 10-month-old son, so he needs to start doing something to pay the bills. So we can get him into golf by 3.
There is some laws. You you have to be 16 or.
Well, we just want to get him, talented.
Well, we need to put a golf club in his hand.
Yeah, there you go.
You can take pictures of his feet. They have a.
Oh my God!
Get some people walked away.
There's a line, and it just got crossed.
That's too much information.
We're not even in the same zip code as the line anymore.
Didn't they say what's his name's son was on the court at like 3 or something?
Oh yeah, Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods' son, yeah. So you never know.
Tiger was too. His dad had him out
future golfer.
Yeah.
I think he was on the. If I remember correctly, I think he was on the Mike Douglas show. He was like 3 years old.
Yeah, okay. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
And he was just whacking away at the ball and everything.
I see like these parents that they have kids and they call it, like they get them into basketball, they call it Project LeBron.
Nice.
They're just trying to get their kid to have that be that next great sports.
But listen, if my son's
With
not
a
good
better
at golf, I'll
personality.
tell him.
Right.
I'll let him know.
There you go.
The girl that couldn't sing.
That's funny. You missed it, but one of our segments was dropping the mic, and it just so happened that there was a little girl this last weekend that was playing the national anthem singing the national anthem during a Pacers game, and I saw a meme that said, hey, can we finally normalize telling our kids the truth from now on?
You know what? Golf's not your thing, or singing's not your thing.
Yeah. So, well, hey, unless V and C, you guys have any more questions, we're going to hit the time to shine.
I kind of have just not a question, but just kind of some information for Dave. So, Dave, there's another, I'm sure you've heard of it, PGA Hope.
Yep.
Or another veteran program that helped disabled veterans.
You mean there's others?
And another disabled people. So it stands for Helping Our Patriots Everywhere. And I'm affiliated with them as well. And they started Indoor League last year. And this year, we did it at Golf Tech last year. And so just for, just for FYI for you guys, they have a golf simulator at the Buckley Air Force Base, and they have an indoor league that currently Keith,
Mm-hmm.
Keith and I are participating in, and you can't beat the price. It's free. So,
okay,
we can talk off air and get more information about that for next year. So, you guys can save a little money. And basically, it's pretty simple. You just have them go there. They have a sign-up time, and you sign up a team. It's a 2-man scramble, and and then they run the whole show, and you don't really have to be involved. So, I mean, you can show up if you want, but I'm just saying, just FYI.
I'm just glad there's a lot of other organizations that help the veterans.
Okay, so Dave, we've reached the time to shine. So this is your time to shine.
I thought I was.
So just Dave, anything we didn't cover, or anything that's just you're just burning to tell us about, and here's your time to shine.
Military wise or golf wise?
Anything you would like.
Yeah, this is your 2-minute platform.
Yeah, let's do golf wise.
Well, I didn't write all this down.
Because the next segment will be our military. So yeah, let's stick to the golf because you're going to be our first. He's going to be our first recipient for Soldier Spotlight.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, tell us anything about the golf program that we might have not covered, or how about you? How long have you been playing golf?
Playing or actually halfway decent at it? No, I've been playing golf since I was probably 18, and I'll be 60 this year.
Wow.
And I fell in love with it. I didn't really ever have a teacher. Your buddies were your teacher, which never try that at home, ladies and gentlemen. Never do that.
The same way.
I should have taken lessons early on, but we were just going out for fun. We weren't trying to break records or trying to make the tour. We were. I mean, it's great camaraderie for everybody when you're. Let's go play golf. People are like, oh, it's 4 or 5 hours, but it's 4 or 5 hours of being outdoors and having fun, and to get these kids and these veterans, disabled people out there it's a thrill.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't say it enough. So it's their time to shine, not really mine.
And do you know of courses in the metro area that are veteran friendly?
No, you have to call because, like you were saying with Buffalo Run, they all have their own criteria.
Yeah.
Now, if you come to Broken T, where we have our carts, we're trying to do a deal where you could actually use the cart, but the problem is we've had it used before and somebody damaged it. And these carts, you're talking $20,000-$30,000.
Yeah.
And so we need to, you got to get lawyers involved and everything when you try to let somebody use your cart. So that's still in the making. We'll see how that turns out, but we're hoping that if you come to Broken T and you're in a wheelchair, you'll be able to use one of those paragolfers.
Yeah.
But
and that's what's nice about that par 3 at Broken T is that it allows carts. That's not very common, and that's nice, especially if you're in a wheelchair. They allow the carts to on the par 3, which is they have cart pass and everything, so it's really nice.
But if you're disabled, you should be able to use a cart anywhere, right? Even on the greens.
Yep,
okay?
Even on the greens.
Because they don't like you driving on the greens, but they have big tires on these, so it doesn't.
They're specially designed for
right.
So
doesn't do much damage. So
why don't they put that tires on just a normal cart?
Yeah, right. Just so you need it.
Because we're talking about people that run through fences and so forth. They want them on the green. Are you
We're not going to name names.
Or courses.
No, Randy H. A lot of Randys, I hope.
Right.
No, so it's their time to shine. They love it, and I love it, and that's all there is to it.
And Dave, and I'm sure you can attest to this, there's nothing better than giving back and volunteering of yourself. It's great and it's important to donate, but to me personally, I get no better gratification than giving of myself, my time, my talents to some other recipient. I have a soft spot for veterans. That's why I'm involved with this podcast. But you never get an unhappy recipient. They always leave with a smile on their face. You made their week, you made their day, and you get way more out of it than you give. So just remember that you get way more out of it than you give.
Right. I used to be a little more selfish.
No, not you, Dave. Come on
And
now.
no, and
I was going to say,
yourself
when
up.
he said talent and you looked at my eye, I'm like, I know what he was thinking.
No, I'm a going on 6-7 years survivor of pancreatic cancer.
Oh, wow.
And after I had the cancer, I'm like, I need to give back.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, things like that change your
Wow.
mindset and change how you feel
Your
about the
perspective.
world.
That's
Yeah.
so true. So true.
And it's just funny. It was, I'm hitting golf right next to Ken, just out of the blue, and we hooked up, we met, and I mean, just things like that. It's almost, you know, God sent.
Yeah, and
Really is.
Ken's a great guy. He's a character. He has a finger. His pinky finger goes straight up in the air.
He played football in
Yeah.
college.
So the end of his pinky finger goes. So when he's like out in public and and he holds his glass, everyone thinks he's hoity-toity because he's got his.
He's from
It's
England.
Yeah, it's just it's not meant to be. It's not on purpose. It's just he got a broken finger.
And that's another thing. Now that we brought that up, you can also apply to be on the board. You don't have to know golf. You just have to be good administratively. They wanted me to go on the board, and I'm like, nah, I want to teach. I want to be outdoors. But Ken's getting older, and my biggest worry is who's going to replace him.
Mm-hmm.
There may be one guy in line, but you know, I also worry about the organization just fading away.
Right.
And so with your help and donations and volunteering, we can try to keep that from happening.
Well said.
Well said. Yeah.
Well, I didn't even write that down.
I know.
You're a natural.
Killing it.
Dave,
Before you leave, we're going to try and get you to do a show.
Yeah.
Well, my wife's like, "Are you going to take any notes?" I go, "Hell no. I'm just going to wing it." Like I always do.
That's the best way. That's the best way.
I
So,
like
Dave,
it.
we just really appreciate your time
From my heart.
And you know, coming out today. You know, like I said, it's a special treat having you in studio. We don't get that very often.
Well, then where's my paycheck?
It's in the mail. It's in the mail.
It's sitting in that box of donuts right there.
That's what she said.
Yeah, it's in that box of donuts over there. And you know, Dave, you're going to stay with us. Yes, for our we're going to be unveiling our new segment today called Soldier Spotlight.
Hope
So
I don't have to take my shirt off for that.
No, you don't have to. But we're going to learn about your service and what you did and all the gritty details.
Drink German
Yeah,
beer.
we don't have a segment picture for that yet.
No,
Well, I want to thank Vincent for letting me come on today.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
give Golf for Disabled another voice.
Yeah, I love it. And I appreciate you coming in too. It's so much more fun when you have an in
It is.
studio.
It is really. And I'm going to try to start encouraging that more.
Yeah, I didn't want it. It's just not very personal doing it remote. I'm not into that.
I agree. And like there's more to it. I mean, like this is great, but you have a different experience because we're in studio compared to like the virtual. And I've tried to explain that. And you know, Maverick and Goose, they usually do the show Wednesday night. It's a political show. And they do a virtual. And I'm like, why don't you just go over to his house? So he started going over to their house, and like their views are getting 800 people watching it and stuff. It's just totally different compared to in studio. We don't have very many people because people are sleeping right now, but they'll watch it later.
Yeah.
But it's better to be side by side looking at people where you're talking instead of looking into your phone or your computer. I mean, there's no personalization with that. And that's why I'm glad I came in.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. And folks, just stay tuned.
You going to pay for my parking?
We are. We're gonna we'll take care of that. Get you some donuts.
Well, he won't even pay for his.
Well, I just parked anywhere. So.
There you go. All right. Well, if nothing further, we'll go to tribute to the troops, and you can stick around with us for the final thoughts and stuff.
Okay.
Great. He's going to do a little soldier spotlight. And then
Okay. All right. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, cool.
I'm still on the clock.
Yeah, you're still on the clock.
Wow,
Yeah,
my butt
so-
hurts.
Right? Yeah. So tell us
Used
about
to
your
be nice.
background, your military, what you did, things like that. Your success stories, maybe some challenges you're still facing.
Okay.
You know. Just
Well,
anything
I went into the service in 1983 because the economy was terrible. I tried to get in the Air Force, but they didn't have the MOS I wanted. So
so that means his ASVAB scores were high enough.
Right.
Well, no, I wanted to be a truck driver.
Oh, I see.
So well, and that too, but
Hey, you're talking to a guy that believed 12 Bravo was at chaplain assistant. So we've all been there.
So you got suckered.
Oh, I got suckered badly. Yeah.
But so it just happened to be that my uncle was in the Army and he was a recruiter at the time, which was good for me because he told me, Dave, this is, what you're going to get. I didn't he didn't sugarcoat anything. He said, this is how it's going to be, basic training, blah, blah, blah. I've always wanted to say that on the radio.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. This is what you get. So I'm like, sign me
as
up.
opposed to yada, yada, yada.
So I joined
He's looking for that. All right. That famous.
Well, wait a sec. That comes at the end. But I joined in 1983. I wanted to travel the world. Okay. I signed up. I was 62 Bravo heavy equipment mechanic, which I love, working on that kind of stuff. And I wanted to travel the world. Well, after basic, you get after AIT and stuff, you get your orders where to go. Fort Carson, Colorado.
Oh, geez.
Oh, man.
I'm like, well, that's not traveling the world.
It was down the street, right?
But you know what? It ended up being one of my best duty stations. I only had 2 of them, but I enjoyed the unit I was in. I enjoyed the work I was in, working on heavy equipment. The field exercises were fun, actually fun, especially if you're to have the M60. Me and my buddy carried the M60 so we could be away from everybody. Well, every now and then we'd sell some beers to the other troops.
But that's
what
another
we're
story.
aware. But I'm out, so they can't come after me now.
Right.
But so no, I joined in '83. I served at Fort Carson. 8 companies. No, I'm sorry. God, I don't even remember what company I was in. That's sad. That explains my age. But I joined, and then in '85 I got orders to go to Germany, and I'm like, awesome. I get to travel, and I've always been a big beer guy, so I'm like, awesome. I get to travel and drink beer. So
Don't they serve at room temperature over there?
Depends what room you're in.
Okay.
But no, I went to Germany in '85, and so the first sergeant he picked me up at the airport and was driving me to the base, and lo and behold, my aunt drove by us and she saw us and turned around.
Really?
I ended up being in the same exact company as my uncle. I mean, what's the chances of that?
You're meant to be
Pretty
there.
weird. Pretty weird.
That's wild.
Is this the same uncle that was the recruiter?
Yeah, same uncle that recruited me, and he was doing the mess hall, but he was an airborne ranger and stuff also. He did a lot of different things in the military. He's retired, of course. So I couldn't believe it. I got family.
Yeah.
I got family there. So that was really nice. I didn't like the unit I was in. And as a matter of fact, I didn't like the work I was doing. I was working mainly on trucks and Jeeps and all that kind of stuff. And I talked to my uncle just recently. I'm like, could I have gotten out of that?
Mm-hmm.
He said, yes, because you were not doing your MOS. You could have either asked for a discharge or they could have sent you somewhere else. But, I was a kid. I didn't know better. I just was doing my job.
Like all of us were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The biggest thing about the military I didn't like, they wanted a bunch of things done, but they also wanted you to look pretty. Okay. Right. Do you want the forklift done, or do you want me to spend hours in classes and shining my boots? That was my biggest. I mean, it's the military, so maybe the selfishness came in again there, but I would do it all over again. I met my wife. She was in my unit. It's funny. She was in the room right above me. Or no, I'm sorry, right below me. And so when we wanted to talk, she'd hit the broomstick on the.
Oh, that's cute.
So we ended up 35 years later, we're still married. And she's a veteran also.
Awesome.
And I'm a disabled veteran myself. I was in no wars, so I can't claim to that. But whether you were in a war or not, there's still always a chance that you might go.
Right.
I almost went to Honduras. I was the second alternate, or I was the first alternate to one of the other mechanics, and he got hit in the face with a sledgehammer. And it messed him up pretty bad. I wasn't there at the time. So, Dave, you're going to Honduras. So I had to go to jungle training, go through all that. The day before we were supposed to leave, they canceled my orders. So, but I learned a lot just from that. I mean, there's just something else in your pocket. I think one of my most biggest successes was people would even the sergeants, and I was a Spec 4 after a year and a half, and even the sergeants and stuff would come to me asking me advice on working on equipment. So that made me feel good. I was the second guy out of my AIT because it was a self-paced course in Fort Lost in the Woods. And then one of my biggest successes, we had an outing on Pikes Peak, and we had to climb Pikes Peak, all our unit, and my buddy and I were the second people up to the top. Awesome. And a big snowstorm hit. They had to bring in helicopters, and the first sergeant got hypothermia. If we wouldn't have been the second people up, we would have really been caught in that storm.
It's a 14er, right?
Yeah. And it was in August.
Oh, wow.
In August. And we would have been the first guys up. And I was from Colorado, so I was already, acclimated to the altitude, but my buddy kept getting sick. So that was probably
he was dragging you down, huh, Dave?
Yeah, it's his fault. I don't even know his name anymore.
Well, Dave, that's why we wear red, because, and it's an acronym that stands for Remember Everybody Deployed.
Well, nobody gave me a shirt.
Yeah, it's in the that's also in the mail.
That's in the making. That's yeah. Once we get donations and stuff, we'll get that.
Yeah. Well, had I known, I would have worn red, white, and blue.
Oh, no worries. There's a lot of people that don't realize that we do Red Fridays, and so you're not the only one that didn't know about it, because I have a lot of friends that don't know about it.
Yeah, I did remote last week, Dave, and I got chastised. So I was wearing a green shirt. So on music break, I had to change my shirts.
That's why I'm saying you guys never told me.
Right.
Good one.
All right. Well, hey, Dave, thank you for coming in, and you're going to stay with us for final thoughts. But it is that time. It's tribute to troops.
Sir, I don't know how to tell this story.
Well, you got to, Joe. You tell the American people what these men did here. You tell them how my troopers died.
Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in to MBR today as we pay tribute to Chief Warrant Officer 4 Brian Andrew Zimick, 36 of Oxford, Mississippi, who died in a helicopter crash doing a routine training mission in Boonville, Mississippi on February 23, 2024. Zimick was in Alpha Company 1st Battalion 149th Aviation Regiment. Zimick is survived by his wife and 3 children. Us here at MBR would like to say thank you, Brian Zimick, for your service and dedication to our country. Our thoughts and prayers are with your family, friends, and those who served alongside.
bullets and it's the glory. 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the Pledge of Allegiance on the 4th of July. It's them handwritten letters from home. It's them sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's a line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Hey. From the fields of Indiana to the swamps of Louisiana, to the golden coast of California, Uncle Sam's the only family he's got. His purple heartbeat won't stop, and his 18th birthday was the day he was born. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's the line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stand on the front line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, pay the ultimate price. Oh. He was the man of the house when he was born. His family is proud but torn. But if you knew him, you would understand. He was raised on how to be brave, just to see the flag still wave. And then he came home with only one hand. 'Cause Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, hear the line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stand on these front lines. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, he'll pay the ultimate price. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down his life. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. March in line, march in line. Hey. Hey.
All right.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Revel Experience. It's been a great day. We had an in-studio guest, and he was our guinea pig for our new segment, Soldier Spotlight. Very interesting. Appreciate you, Dave, being honest and brutally honest, I might say, and sharing your experience in the military. I think a lot of people have experiences in the military that maybe didn't pan out the way they thought, but it's always an adventure. So,
and we need you to keep signing up.
Yeah. And so Dave just shared with me on the break that he's going to be gone all of June. So we really I've already enlisted, I have a couple people I'm going to enlist their help. I will be there for June to help fill in, and we need volunteers especially for June while he's out of town. So
Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right, awesome. Well, it is the final thoughts.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition. Strap in.
It's the 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning. What we learned today. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Sponsored by OperationGoodBoy.com. Use code at checkout. Military Discount Radio.
basically.
Timeout.
Yeah. 2 minutes left on the game clock. It's going to be about 10 before the game's actually over. But,
well,
Oh.
Time's up.
Yeah,
Time's
time's up. So,
Play
so
again.
what did we learn today? H, we'll start with you.
The biggest thing that I learned today, meeting you for the first time, is I can tell the passion that's in your voice. I can tell the passion that you as a person have. And I can say that any veteran that's playing with you is going to be lucky the whole entire day, because I can tell that you have passion of what you're doing. And I encourage you to keep doing it. You're changing lives. You've changed his life.
Thank
And
you.
I want to thank you for what you do.
Is it because his voice cracked, or what was it? No, I'll share you a little story about Dave.
Okay.
Last year at the tournament,
Oh
they
man,
have,
we don't
they-
need to
they-
go there,
they-
brother.
They have a tournament at the end of the golf for the Sable every year, and Dave wasn't playing; he was in a cart, and he was our peanut gallery. So imagine this, just picture it. So you're sitting there and you're hitting your approach shot to the green, and Dave's in the golf cart behind you, and you shank the ball. He's like, "Oh, didn't get a good hold of that one, did you, V? Oh man, that's just
Jeez, I don't remember doing that.
Yeah, he was on point. I mean, following groups around and being the peanut gallery. So that's what I remember from last year's tournament.
Wow.
How about you, Mercury?
Well, I learned that even the blind can play golf. I thought that was really impressive. Because I haven't golfed a ton, but I've gone to the driving range a little and gone to a course once or twice, and just being able to I can see, obviously not great because I have glasses, but I can see decently well, and I have trouble tracking the ball and hitting it. So just the fact that somebody without any sight's able to come out there and hit it is just really impressive, and really a testimony to the strength and fortitude that
That's
disabled
amazing.
vets show.
Amazing.
Yeah. All right, you're up, caveman.
Yes, every week I'm pretty much just reminded, remember your veterans, and that the volunteer work that you can do is going to help them out tremendously. Just the little things, like going out, even if you're just on the driving range for a little bit, just spending some time with people, making them feel like a person again. Is
amen.
Everybody needs that.
Everybody needs that. All right, CG, you're up.
Well, I said last week that I didn't want to be the one crying in the corner every show, but it looks like you're going to do that
today. Wait, that's my job.
I was going to say, Dave's right there with you.
Yeah, so
I gave him a box of
Actually,
tissues.
I went to a really good acting school, Cry University.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, but that it opened my eyes again to volunteering. I forgot about it. I've done it before for other, things, and just put that to the forefront of my mind of how amazing, how helpful that can be to other people, as well as how good it makes yourself feel. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, and everybody gets wrapped up in their everyday lives. And I'm lucky to be retired, which some people, they have to work, but you forget about things like this. And
totally.
It brings you back to a better place in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, and I also need to plug Top Golf. Top Golf was wonderful for our Winter Golf League, and we'll be back. They did a great job.
Get them as a sponsor.
We
need to get them as a sponsor.
Yeah, they did. I mean, they went above and beyond. They even gave us an extra bay when we only asked for 2, but I wanted an extra bay just to teach guys because some of them were new. And right away, no problem.
And you guys had a good turnout.
Yes, real good.
But there's always a good turnout for Top Golf.
Yeah,
man.
exactly. That's pretty
you don't have
expensive,
to.
too.
You don't have to carry a bag. You feel like
you got food and cocktails.
You feel like you're in baseball.
And the price was right too.
Yeah, exactly.
0.
Normally that place is really expensive.
Yeah, it can be really expensive.
And then Ken took us to a wonderful Chinese restaurant afterwards. Hong Palace, I think it's called. Hong Palace.
That's Hong, something like that.
Yeah, Hong Palace, I think.
It was good.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Delicious.
So we do things like that
That's
occasionally, and we gave out prizes for first, second, and third place. So we gave a set of tailor-made wedges for the first place.
Wow.
We gave a driving mat. It's a special mat, so when you hit it, you can see the plane of your golf club. You know, it's like an etch-a-sketch.
So like your swing plane.
Right, your swing plane. And then we gave away a putter, a nice putter.
Wow, some nice gifts.
So we gave away some nice gifts, and it's thanks to these grants that we get. You know, that's huge.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
grants.
Yeah, V Square just took a
I'm
grant class.
I just took a class. I'm trying to get us up to speed on how to write how I can write a grant.
You're a busy
for that
man.
Cause, so.
I know,
Yeah,
right? He's got
busy man.
his hands in the cookie jar.
Right.
I'm scared that will be that last cookie. You know.
Right. So
Thanks for doing all that,
hey,
buddy.
Thank you for coming. What I learned is what my mother taught me. My mother has been volunteer she's 92. She'll be 92 this year. She's been a volunteer for over 40 years.
Wow.
And I used to scoff at that, you know, when I was working, young father. Mom, you're not getting paid. What are you doing? And then when I retired in 2016, she came to my house one day and she's like, come on, let's go. And I'm like, where are we going? She's like, this is when she was still driving and stuff. She's like, just get in the car. So I get in the car and she took me to volunteer with her and I fell in love, man. I was like, man, this is so cool. It's
What was
so
it?
gratifying. We went to the shut-ins and we did like a Bible study with them. And it was just awesome. It was so cool. It was so cool. So ever since then, I've been volunteering in some capacity. And the last, I think, 4 years has been strictly veterans because that's
Awesome.
I have a soft spot for them. So
Awesome.
yeah. So you can't, like I said before, I can only reiterate, you'll get more out of it than you give.
There you go, folks. Go to golffordisabled.org.
Yes.
And sign up, please.
Yes.
Wow, that sounded like an infomercial.
You're hired.
Well, you want to close us out, brother?
Yeah, man. Thanks for everyone joining us today. We had a great show. We had a great guest speaker today. He was our guinea pig for our Soldier Spotlight. And stay tuned for next week. We will have another great guest. Just remember, we are empowering veterans from all walks of life.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us today.
We're here for you, but not for us. Everybody, giving our veterans a voice.
Have a good Friday.
Hoorah.
That's the show for today, everyone. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with an all-new show. And remember, you can listen to us again and again. The podcast of this radio show is available right after we go off the air tonight, anywhere that you can get your podcast episodes. And thanks for joining us today. I'd like to take a moment to talk about